All right, let's get it on. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of DrRandyShort Presents here on my channel, GBooty786, on Facebook as well as on Twitter right now. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. We're going to let the chat pull in. We got a very special guest. We have the one and only DrRandyShort. He's coming on. We've asked that. We've been trying to get him on for a little while, and we're grateful that he's come on. And of course, he'll explain his prison jumpsuit for you all in a little bit. But what I leave you to do too is also to check out Dr. Short's Cash App, DrRandyShort right there. You can also hit up his PayPal at wrandyshort@gmail.com. That's Dr. Randy Short, Cash App, and PayPal at randyshort@gmail.com with a W, as you see at the bottom. So we've got a lot going on, and we're about to get started, so I have to play the intro music. Shout out to Professor Archibald for that one. But Dr. Short, of course, is no stranger to the platform. He has come on, been on this platform with us twice before. He's been on my podcast, and you can also check out my podcast on Anchor as well. DrRandyShort Presents. And Dr. Short, thank you for joining us, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming in. You know, I told everyone, and I asked him earlier about the prison jumpsuit that he was wearing, and I wanted to know what happened. I guess so the audience can know what was going on with that. And Dr. Short, you could tell them.
Well, you know, what I'm trying to do is to remind people about mass incarceration and the role that Jim Crow Joe Biden played in the 1994 Biden bill, which is also known as the Omnibus Crime Bill, that destroyed the lives of millions of Black men, women, and children, caused Black people to lose billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars, in income, in housing, and opportunities. And so a lot of folks want to vote, and it's now just get rid of Trump. And what people need to understand, I'll tell you, as an old man, that's the way millennials see me. I'm 55. I can recall when they were putting in the mass incarceration laws in the late 1960s. So from the time that I was about 2-3 years old, they were building up mass incarceration to lock up Black people. That has run almost the entire course of my life, is lock up and imprison Black people. The only person in my entire life that said there are too many Black people in jail, we've got to stop some of this. It wasn't Obama. It wasn't Bush. It wasn't Clinton. It wasn't the old predator Bush. It wasn't Ronald Reagan. It wasn't Jimmy Carter. It wasn't Richard Nixon. It wasn't Lyndon Baines Johnson. The only person that said there are too many Black people in jail, the laws are screwed, these people need the right to be able to vote, get their lives back. As screwed up as it sounds, Donald Trump is it. The only person that's actually done any kind of effort to not mass incarcerate Black people, and not just say something, but in his reforms, 92% of the beneficiaries of people being released from jail, not 15%, not 10%, not even 50%, but 92% of the people released Black. Tell me any initiative to do anything for anybody in this country where Black people get their share, and in this instance, get almost approaching the whole ball of wax for Black people. And Joe Biden bragged about getting money from the federal government to build 125,000 prison cells, to fill the streets with 125,000 cops, to pass 3 strikes and you're outlaw, to create laws where if I'm white and I got a big bag of cocaine, I get less time than someone that has like an aspirin of crack in their hand. Joe Biden's responsible for passing legislation that increased by 1,100% the rate of incarceration for Black women. Because of Joe Biden's law, the number of Black children that went into foster care went from some low number to 1 in every 9 Black children. Because of Joe Biden, 4 million Black men lost the right to vote in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go on. Because of Joe Biden and the harshness of these laws, all kinds of people never could find work, never could find housing, never could get their lives back. It's called civic death. They've effectively exterminated 5 or 6 million Black people, are walking dead. And to me, Black folk have to be out of, pardon my language, their fucking collective minds, that they're even thinking about Joe Biden. And to tell them, we just got to get rid of Trump. And I ask people, relatively speaking, aside from Trump saying stuff we don't like to hear, what has he really done to hurt Black people? Then 2, Joe Biden says racist stuff and has been saying racist stuff since the 1970s for 48 years. Right. Racist commentary. How is him saying it for 48 years cool? And Trump saying it for something that we can't work with? And so, why are we, hold on, last question. Why is it that we only can hate or dislike one white politician instead of disliking all politicians, whether they're coons, racist, liberal, conservative, because we're not getting our checks cut?
Does it? Well, let me ask you, because I don't know, you kind of went in and out on this one, with the broadcast. I was trying to hear, who was the president that you were mentioning that actually has spoken on reform for
Trump.
Black? It's been
Trump.
Donald Trump.
He didn't just speak. The First Step Act is happening. It's a fact. People are getting out of jail. People are getting their records expunged. There's an effort for people to be able to vote, to get a job, to get training, to not end up being cyclical where they keep going back to jail because there's nothing for them when they come out. Biden and them set it up where recidivism was basically going to be all you could do. The only door that'd be open to you is a prison door.
Yeah. Well, on that note, though, Doc, I think what a lot of people don't, I guess, the main thing they go at Trump was the issue, especially going back to the 80s with the housing discrimination law. Lawsuits.
Let me ask you a question. Central Park and the housing thing isn't the 80s, it's the 70s. The difference is the Federal Housing Authority, the FHA, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac. All these things have been rigged against Black people for 80 years. Credit redlining, the failure to comply with the Community Reinvestment Act, which Black Democratic mayors, like the one here in DC, or the one in Atlanta, or the little ugly Hobbit, Lord of the Rings looking one in Chicago. Housing discrimination is the basis of how things are. American apartheid. You mean there's only one person that's done housing discrimination? You mean it's just Donald Trump? It's not Bloomberg? It's not Toll Brothers? It's not whole city governments and state? You mean one white person's the only one that's discriminated? The only person that said Black folks who were innocent were guilty? And we're only talking about 5 people that he put his mouth in. 5 people that he put his mouth in them going to jail, compared to Biden and Kamala Harris sending millions of black people to jail. Tens of thousands dying from AIDS from getting raped in prison. And we love his dementia-riven ass. And we just can't work with Trump, who's done a lot of stupid stuff, but in comparison, that's like 2 kids at 5 years old touching each other's stuff and comparing them to a porn king or a porn queen. Black folks are just damn stupid, and we're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
We're going to pay for being stupid. Joe Biden has already told us the biggest issue for him is the right of trans. Black people save his ass in South Carolina. And he turns around and says, fuck you niggas, I only care about dudes that wear dresses. I mean, we accept that. What he didn't slap in our face, he pissed in our face. And we said, we're going to vote for him because we just have to get rid of Trump. To hell with that. It's stupid. It's immature. It's jive. It's lame. And I'll say something else about this Joe Biden bastard. Whereas you talk about the Central Park 5, there have been a minimum of 5 men lynched in Delaware. Actually, it's many more that have been killed under mysterious circumstances that have been covered up by the Biden political crime machine. And no news service will cover the story. So Trump mouthed off at 5 people that many folks, even black people, thought were guilty. And he's a monster. Black folks in Delaware live in complete fear of being killed by racial terrorists, and Joe Biden's our damn savior. And his mind is practically gone, but you know what he does know how to say? Nigger.
So with that, yeah, well, I certainly don't like and I want to ask you, how do you deal with this aspect? Because I feel like people are shaming, especially younger people like myself, into voting. But when they do that, they want us to vote Biden. But Biden has not offered black people anything. He has not proposed.
He has offered us something. He's offered us his record of being against equal access to housing, education, and justice and jobs to black people for the better part of 50 years. I mean, what does he need to do? Put you in a concentration camp and put a tattoo on your penis? Look, dumb black people are a curse. Maybe COVID should kill all the stupid black people that won't think. Then those of us that survive, we'd be able to deal with racism. It's too much weight to have to carry Negroes that don't read, that don't research, that don't use their mind, except for to kill brain cells smoking weed or looking at porn, staring at white women. It's ridiculous. The young people not voting matters. If you look at the news, all of the mainstream media is complaining about young black people not voting. They haven't complained about them closing your schools down. They haven't complained about getting rid of all the black teachers. They haven't complained about getting rid of school lunch. They haven't complained about kids not having access to health care. They haven't complained about cutting a SNAP for poor families. They haven't complained about getting rid of music in the school, getting rid of sports in the school. They haven't complained about the cutting of youth programs. They haven't complained about getting rid of summer job programs for youth. They haven't complained about all these illegals and other people getting stuff, or Spanish or foreign language requirements for entry-level jobs that have made black youth across this country have unemployment rates that exceed 70-75% nationally. No one's given a damn about that for decades. And so to me, it's interesting because I've been a teacher, and frankly, brother, it's hard to shame millennials because too many of y'all are pig-headed. I'm just going to say it. Y'all don't listen. Everybody old is the enemy. Except for if I'm a drug dealer or I've got some pornos. Now, don't listen to that. When it comes down to saying, hey, look, would you read this? Would you look at that? Nigga, stop living in the 60s. We free. I screw white girls. There's an attitude that everything's cool. So a lot of millennials, they're completely out of touch. The boomers failed. They failed you, and the boomers have stifled my generation. I'm not a boomer. They blocked the generation behind. They never wanted to retire or go home. And I'll tell you something that's really disgusting to me. They bypassed those of us who have more education, more life experience, and
Yeah.
they'll give it to someone 20 years old, 30 years old. I'm not a hater, but wait a minute. I got all of this, and I get told I'm too old to get something by someone 10, 20 years older than me. That's astounding. We shouldn't give a damn about what boomers say. Boomers failed. The civil rights movement was a scam. It's a hoax. We didn't win. We lost. We lost our leaders. We lost our businesses. We lost our identity. We lost our schools. We lost our unity. We've even lost our music. That's what the boomers did. All they wanted to do was swirl and fit in. And so what they're saying to you, if you're dumb enough to be shamed by the boomers, is keep doing the stuff that doesn't work that we do. That's sort of like people who thought, right? People that thought that cutting the body open was a way to get rid of cancer. And they learned when you open the body, the cancer spread. For us to keep doing things the wrong way. A lot of older black people are traitors to us. And to me, when God takes some of these suckers away, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. They're in the way. They don't want to grow up. They don't want to learn how to use the internet. They just, I'm old. And their attitude is if I'm 100 years old, I'm always right, which means if that person thinks Z is the first letter in the alphabet, I'm older than you, then Z is, when Z is the last letter in the English alphabet. We have to have a revolution against the boomers, a coup, shove their old asses out the way and let them take their walkers and wheelchairs with them. And their stupid integrationist, fake integration, because real integration would mean there'd be Blacktown alongside Chinatown. If you didn't vote, if young people stay home 100%, that would be evidence of how young black folks aren't going to put up with this stuff anymore. They're not going to play this electoral game. I'm saying to you, I don't know how old you are, but I may have been doing political campaigns before you were born. If you ask me, the way we've been doing politics, we've been, how old?
I can believe it. I'm 34.
Okay, I was doing campaigns before you were born. The first political campaign I can recall working on was in 1982, which would be 38 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see what we get out of it because we haven't demanded. I'm with Professor Black Truth and I'm with Black Authority. They won't like me saying go Republican, not because I want black folks in one part or the other. We need our own damn party. We need our own movement for business, for land, for self-defense. We need to begin to become a people with our own government and our sovereign institutions that empower us so we don't need anybody else but Jesus Christ. That's where my head is. And that's where the young people are right. So if they don't vote, it'll make the old black folk look stupid. That's great. And let me tell you, the main people that will look stupid that you see are the little coons on CNN and MSNBC. Snitches, police snitches like Al Sharpton, or the woman that looks like John Thompson. You know, the Georgetown Hoya basketball coach. You know, Donna Brazile looked just like him. He's actually prettier than she is.
The one that just died, John.
He does look like Donna Brazile. I mean, these old sellout coons that told y'all to vote for illegals to get DACA. Now, when I was meeting with folks and the government talked to Republicans, I told them, we want BLACA, something for us specifically. Right. When I was in the room talking to the Republican people, I said, this is a reparation that could be given to us in the stroke of a pen. Quick, now, fast, in the damn hurry. Our people need it now. Now, that's what these old Negroes didn't do. They only got for themselves. They only took care of themselves and their family. If young black people, if 80 to 90% of black folks stay home and they don't vote, and Joe Biden and the crazy wing of the Democratic Party is destroyed nationally, which would be a beautiful thing, not that I worship the Republicans, these people will turn around and purge from the Democratic Party payrolls and largesse all the old, no good, toothless, sellout, swirling, switch hitting, no good, lying, backstabbing, coon boomers. Those niggas need to be retired like a 45 record in a CD player.
Somebody,
Get rid of them. They need to go. They're awful. They've lived too long. Don't let them shame you. Don't vote if you don't want to. And if you do vote,
are you going to vote, Doc?
oh yes, of course I'm going to vote. It won't count because in D.C. Republicans are outnumbered 16-1. But I'll be like one of the black people that voted for Trump to give my finger to Biden because I got family in Delaware. I have friends and family that have been mass incarcerated. I had folks die from AIDS in jail that I knew because of Biden's law. I hate Joe Biden. I HATE Joe Biden. Absolutely. And the little whore Kamala too. And she's got a nice first syllable in her name because it really described what she's about. Come. Look, if young black people don't vote, they're going to get scared. In other countries, when they have an unfair political system that doesn't address the needs of people and folks don't vote, it basically says that the system doesn't work. So you'll find in other countries, they'll go out and put people at gunpoint and make them vote because they need you to certify their crooked system. It's sort of like a hoe telling you to tell people that she's a virgin. We shouldn't tell this whore of a system that it's a virgin. We should call it a hoe. It smells like a hoe. It stinks like a hoe. It twerks like a hoe. It's a hoe. And that applies to the vice presidential candidate. She's a hoe, and she's not. In fact, let's just be honest. The only cool thing about Kamala Harris is that she gave blowjobs to Willie Brown. Other than that, she's been useless to black people. She's not a black woman. She's a caste Hindu. They hate black people's guts. They persecute and kill people from Africa and dark-skinned Indians. That's what Kamala's class of Brahmin Indians do. They burn churches. They kill Christians. They kill Muslims. We should have nothing to do with her. Send her back. In fact, postmark and put a dot on her head and send her back to India. We don't want her. I went to Howard.
A lot of people aren't going to like that.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn. The Indians dog black folks in California, just like Kamala Harris had 50,000 black men in jail, making them fight forest fires for less than $2 a day. So I really don't give a damn about weak-minded black people. If hating me made stupid niggas think that I want all of them to hate me, wake the hell up. I think it's almost a crime to be an intelligent black person in this country because stupid black people that don't read, that don't research, that don't analyze, think if enough of them dumb black people get together, they can bully us with their denial and bullshit fantasies. I couldn't give a damn about stupid black people's fantasies. In fact, I wish all the dumb black people had aneurysms so the intelligent thinking black folks could solve the problem that we've been in 400 years.
Yeah, well, she certainly was not. I thought when she picked it, my mom even said Biden lost the election because she was not a strong candidate as far as.
And that she is.
You something else. I wanted to get to since we're talking about the vice presidential candidate. This is
Kamala. Say it. Don't know Kamala. Not Kamala. That's black people pretending that hoe is one of us. Her name says her mother is Kamala, and it's quite apt.
Kamala
Dracula
Harris
drinks blood, and Kamala drinks. Well, figure it out.
Okay. TD Hip Hop. He had this. He said Kamala Harris has an Indian agenda for her people, but not a black agenda. And I wanted to just play this clip, if we could, for the time, Doc, just to look at it.
Sure.
Shout out to TD Hip Hop for this his video.
What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to bring this video to you very quickly concerning Kamala Harris and the way in which she's already positioning herself to prioritize her people, which are Indians, over Black Americans, despite the fact that she's running heavily on the illusion that she is a black woman, which she is not. She is an Indian woman. Now, as we've discussed multiple times on this channel before, Kamala Harris does not have any policy or legislation that will be specifically benefiting Black Americans. And she said this out of her own mouth that she would not be doing anything that is specifically for you.
She has.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
Now, with all this being said, if Joe Biden wins, when she gets into office, because understand if Joe Biden wins and he gets into office, it's really kind of Kamala Harris that's going to be president and dictating things. Because Joe Biden, let's be honest, he can't even form a coherent sentence at this point. The man has dementia. He doesn't know what's going on. So electing Joe Biden,
he knows he's not white,
is electing Kamala Harris as president of the United States.
What'd you say, Doc? Let me stop it. What'd you say?
He knows he's not Black.
Yeah, that's true too. He knows that part.
Already knows what policies that she will have in place that would directly benefit her people, which are Indian American. But before we get into that policy, I also want to highlight to you very quickly that recently Kamala Harris appointed an Indian American by the name of Sabrina Singh as her press secretary. So mind you, as she's out here campaigning on her so-called Blackness, she's supposed to be Black. She's an AKA. She went to a HBCU, ski-wee.
A KKK.
Right? She's supposed to be Black because of this. As she's promoting her Blackness in mainstream media,
I like some of y'all AKAs.
She is Black too, so you need to vote for her. She's not promoting Black Americans in high positions to work alongside her. No, that's not what she's doing. She's promoting her own people. And I will leave the link to this article in the description below. Now hear me clearly. I have no problem with you prioritizing your people over any and everybody else. That really does not bother me. The only thing that bothers me is that you're sitting here trying to run on your Blackness. And you got mainstream media out here shoving down our throats that you're so Black, yet you're blatantly anti-Black. As it pertains to this alone, why not one of her sorority sisters? Why not one of her AKA sorority ski sisters? Kamala Harris wasn't even thinking about you when it was time to fill this position. She went with her people, which are Indian Americans. Now let's move on to this article here at The Statesman. Indian origin Senator Kamala Harris promises to lift cap for employment-based green cards in the U.S. Now let's scroll down just a little bit and you'll see that as I read on here, Indian origin U.S. Senator Kamala Harris is in favor of lifting the existing pre-country caps for employment-based green cards, her presidential campaign has said, while asserting that 95% in line for legal permanent residency is primarily from India, China, the Philippines, and Vietnam. And now once you scroll down this article a little bit more, you'll see that Kamala Harris's campaign justified what she's getting ready to do when she gets into office by stating that Kamala believes we must do more to eliminate discriminatory backlogs and protect immigrant workers so they can stay in our country and continue to contribute to the economy. So,
okay, let me pause it right quick for a second. So, Doc, basically what he is saying is that the vice presidential candidate is trying to introduce tangibles to immigrants.
Specifically limited to just certain groups, specifically for these people. The very excuse or the justification, no, not just for Blacks, but she will do something just for Indians. My point, she's a hypocrite, she's a liar, she's a whore.
Okay.
Understand, Kamala Harris has nothing for Black people as it pertains to making sure that the racial wealth gap will be closed. She doesn't have anything like that for you. Yet she has legislation for her people lined up and ready to go. And this is not to mention the fact that Indian Americans are actually doing very well in this country. And I want to make sure to state all links to articles are going to be in the description below. So you don't have to believe anything that I'm saying. You can read this stuff for yourself. So here's the next article that I have for you titled Report. Indian Americans' income highest in the U.S. And as you scroll down to the first paragraphs, off top, it lets you know right away, Indian Americans have the highest median annual household income at $100,000. And the U.S. Asian population, that includes Indian Americans, overall does well on measures of economic well-being compared to the U.S. population as a whole, according to the new report from Pew Research. Now, as you scroll down a little bit more into the article, you'll see that they continue to say Indian Americans also fared well in terms of education, with about half of Asians aged 25 or older, 51%, having a bachelor's degree or higher, compared to 30% of all Americans in this age. In education, within the Asian origin group, Indian Americans have the highest level of educational attainment among Asian Americans, with 72% holding a bachelor's degree or more in 2015. Now, I read all of this to tell you that Indian Americans are doing just fine. They're doing very well in this country. And what Kamala Harris is attempting to do here is solidify their position in this country as doing very well. And not only solidify them, but make sure that they're doing better than you. She's running on blackness. That's all she has as it pertains to Black Americans. But when it comes to her people, she has all type of policy and legislation for them. She's promoting them in high positions to work alongside of her. She has everything for her people, but not for you. But never mind all that, because Kamala Harris is still Black despite all of this.
Right, and she screwed a Black man, and we can vicariously. She screwed a Black man, so she's cool, and she probably ate some cooch when she was pledging AKA. So we should vicariously be able to benefit from the fact that she screwed a couple of Black people. We're stupid as hell. Sally Hemings was screwing Thomas Jefferson 220 years ago. Did we get anything for screwing all these other races after 400 years? I can't stand stupid Black people. I especially can't stand stupid Greek letter hoes and dogs.
Black Americans is astonishing. They really feel as if you are stupid enough and so unintelligent that you would just vote for Kamala Harris because she's Black. That's how stupid they think you are. Now,
they're right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm
they're right.
This video, so make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. Also, make sure you text TD Hip Hop to number 33222. That is TD Hip Hop to number 33222. That way you'll get a direct text notification whenever I release a new video, but it also serves as a protection plan for myself in case YouTube ever gives this channel the axe. I will be able to send you a direct link to where you can find me next. All my social media links will be in the description below, as well as in the comment section. And lastly, but certainly not least, for those of you who have been subscribed for quite some time now, have
but that's y'all subscribe to this brother's channel, TD Hip Hop Media. And also, while I'm at it, also donate to the Cash App that you see at the bottom, and also donate to Dr. Short's Cash App. It's and his PayPal, and it's right here. So I'll put that up there. But yeah, our topic with Kamala Harris and the Indian.
Kamala.
Yeah, the Democratic vice presidential candidate.
That's her name. Why? You know what you're just doing when you say Kamala, you make it sound like it's one of those ghetto bitch last first names. You're making her Black, mispronouncing her name. It's Kamala.
Kamala.
That's Kamala, like come out your dick. Kamala. If we said her name like it really was, it'd be another reason to remind you she ain't what you are. No, even a dumb hoe wouldn't name her daughter Kamala. They would name her Kamika.
What? Well, yeah. So from hearing that, we were talking through what the brother was saying as far as the Indian agenda that was there. What do you have anything more to add to that?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
What the people are not explaining is that Kamala Harris is a Hindu. She's not a Christian. She's not a Muslim. She's not a Jew. The Hindus have a system, a caste system. And the caste system basically states that the white-looking ones are come out of God's head. And the darker you get, basically the people like you and I came out of God's ass. And we're to be slaves and abused and murdered and raped. And if we live good lives, maybe we'll get to be like the other people. It's like, keep voting Democratic, eventually you'll make it. India has a very vicious anti-Black system. Indians consume most of the world's skin lightening cream because they hate themselves and they hate us even more. In California, there are 40,000 or more illegal Indians. Donald Trump, to help white and Black Americans, has ceased in particular taking these visas from Indians. to make certain. I know, brothers, I got a call while I'm talking to you from my cousin who's in high tech. They get slaughtered by these illegals here. Kamala Harris is for gays. She's for illegals. She's for everybody but black people. She's covered up for the murders of black people. I got a call from a woman. Her husband was murdered in San Francisco, maybe about 10, 12 years ago. Kamala Harris obstructed the law so she didn't get justice. I have another friend whose son was lynched by white boys. Kamala Harris obstructed justice. I know another girl who was gang raped, murdered, and broken into pieces like pretzels. Kamala Harris obstructed justice. Y'all know about the Fruitvale movie with the guy playing Oscar Grant, the one that was the guy in Black Panther? Right, Michael P. Jordan. Kamala was the one that let the white guy get off murdering this man in public doing less than a year. Kamala lets a white man off that murders a man in public for less than a year, but will keep black men in jail who served their time. Black folks deserve to be re-enslaved and exterminated if they vote for people that want to do that to them. Go ahead and vote for it. I'm tired of having to argue with stupid Negroes about reality. She's not black. Her birth certificate's all over the internet. It's Caucasoid. It's Caucasoid. Right. It's Caucasoid. It isn't what you look like. It's what you think and know you are. And black folks don't want to be sophisticated. Trust me. There are a whole lot of people that are happy to come here and wipe you out. And for all the little Pan-Africanist coons, the Indians are in Africa too. They dog the Africans in Africa. The Chinese are in there. There's nowhere to run from tribalism and racism. We got to stand up and fight or be eliminated. The time for being cowardly, go along, get along, ass-sucking coons is over.
Akon, it's funny you mentioned that, but Akon is supposedly making that Akon City, and the Chinese are behind that.
Akon used to go to the place, Pedophile Island, on the Lolita Express with Epstein. I wonder, does Akon have sex with children or with men? How did he get on that damn plane?
Wait,
and
what?
Akon, my cousin helped train Akon. Akon's turned his back on the musicians in St. Louis that helped make his ass. He's an ungrateful, green card, coon-ass African. He needs to take his bogus Kunta Kinte ass back to Africa and never show back up here. But let me tell you, his ass is going to be picked up. If they ever get a sealed indictment, if they pick up these people who are raping and killing and having sex with children down on Epstein's Island, Akon's ass, he's going to go down.
Are you saying Akon hung out with Epstein?
Yes, he's on the manifest. You wonder how he's getting all this money. It's not because his music is so good.
Wow, I didn't know that one.
I want all the foreign black folks that hate black Americans to get the fuck out. Get out of our country.
Yeah.
And I didn't say no one's welcome to come here, but if you came here to make war on us in our own country, it's time for us who've been in this country for generations to say, well, extend our hand to anybody as a brother or sister if they're for real. If you've come to be another group, a wave of invaders, and I'm going to say this because I got to get this off my chest. I have to tell some Africans, I have a lot of African friends. One of my African friends called me while we're doing this show. I explained to him, look, dude, my great-grandmother's an Indian. I had a lot of great-grandmothers are Indians. In fact, there are a lot of black Indians that look just like me when Christopher Columbus's ass made a wrong turn. We've always been here. Some people were brought here slaves, but there were plenty of people who were already black who were free. My family owned land. I had family that's Seminole. I had family that's Piscataway. I had family that's Cherokee, Blackfoot, Powhatan. I have family all over. We were here. This is our country. It's our land. The reason they hate us so much, and they don't hate the little half-breed, $2 toilet paper Indians, like that bitch, it's a bitch, you know what I'm talking about, it's a bitch Warren, up in that Massachusetts.
Elizabeth Warren, yeah.
It's our land. This is my country and yours. And these other people, I'm not mad at anyone from Africa, but my identity is more comprehensive than a couple people being brought here in chains. Some people in my family were slaves, not everybody. And we need to stop internalizing this false narrative that makes it seem as if we didn't have anything and we all can just go back. That's not completely true. And that's the biggest hoax that we, oh, I just lost everything in Africa. Everybody else in the world, black is better than me. And we should beg them to want us and we're outcasts. Bullshit. And I'm not rejecting. I've been to Africa, 17 countries. The brothers calling me. I'm trying to work with people to set up farms and stuff. I love Africa. I got heritage there. I got heritage here. We need to stop begging people for our identity and start recognizing and taking some time. Like I said, black people that don't read, that don't research, that don't think are cursed. It's
Why
not
do
so
you
hard
think?
to find out. Hold on. You know what Tuscaloosa means?
No,
You didn't know it means black warrior?
no, sir, I didn't know that.
Okay, so why are Indians calling themselves black if they're the little high yellow, not high yellow, the little pale skinned, fake ass white Indians who went to Oklahoma? Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? There's a whole history, and these Indians and other people coming here to wipe us out. They know that we're the original people here. The same way in Australia, everybody hates the Aboriginals. It's their land. We're the original people here, and they're killing us. And we got to get over, ooh, I want to go back to my village in Africa. Damn, this is my fucking Africa for right now.
Right. Yeah. Why do you think, though, a lot of immigrants come over here and they have a hatred for black people? Why?
Because it's competition, and we've made this place nice.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the African family from Senegal that got roasted alive in Denver? 6 people. 3 white men set the house on fire and burnt those folk up.
No, I
Did
didn't
you hear about the woman from Gambia that took in the white man and woman and they murdered her, stole her stuff, and stole her car? Oh, they're killing Africans all over the country. You know why? As this country reverts to being more honest about race, and as these people have helped stand on black people's neck like George Floyd and hold us down and be against us, the racists want to kill them too. They're going to learn. Africans going to get killed. Caribbeans going to get killed. They're going to get shot. They're going to get beat. See, they're using these people like Kamala Harris is not black. The other one, Susan Rice is a Jamaican. Eric Holder was a Barbadian. They have all of these people. Sheila Jackson Lee is a Jamaican. The little ugly moose-looking girl with no horns. Shirley Chisholm.
Shirley Chisholm.
Ugly looking woman. And then she's an enemy to black people. She's from the Caribbean. These people are used to destroy us because we just look at their color like we're doing with Kamala and say they understand us. And if you knew Shirley Chisholm, she would have told you she hated niggas. She would have told you that black Americans just need to forgive white people and move on. She wasn't for reparations, Shirley Chisholm. Yeah, I mean, her philosophy is the only thing ugly than her face. Okay, we need to go to war. If you come here and you're not helping me, look, we haven't done what we're supposed to do. These boomer niggas, the ones that want to shame into voting, they're the kind that will say, well, we want to help everybody. Wait a minute. We're talking about half the Negroes walk out on their kids. What do you mean you're going to help everybody? You're going to help the little broke-ass kids from El Salvador and Colombia and Liberia, and you don't do anything for kids in Chicago. We need to simply say, like, if you look at Kamala, she's only going to help Indians. What's wrong with taking care of us? In fact, why would you want to wipe the next man's ass before you've wiped yours and it's all mushy and stuff? And you picking your booty? We need to wipe our ass first. And then we can think about handing somebody a roll. Maybe the last piece when it's down to the cardboard. Ooh, can you use this? All right? Only us. Only us, just us, for us. I don't hate anybody. And so they come to America because black people have opened this country up to the world. I'm going to come back to the Caribbeans. Because those bastards think that they come up here because they're smart. Their asses got into this country because the NAACP sued and went to the Supreme Court and opened the United States immigration to black immigrants to give them a chance. As soon as they get in here, they slam the doors on us. We need to permanently only look out on a national basis for ADOS or for foundational Black Americans. However, we need to be reciprocal Pan-Africanists. I have friends all over Africa. I have friends all over Latin America. If you treat me like a brother or sister, I'm your brother. I'm your brother. I can't be your sister. I'll let Andrew Gillum do that. Okay. We need to demand tangibles for this damn Pan-Africanism. And if you're not offering me anything, get the fuck out of my face. Your jacked up accent. I mean, go the fuck on. Okay.
Yeah.
We can't. Let me tell you something about Africa and Africans. If you go to Africa, do you think people from other countries get treated good when they just show up in another country legally? I want to tell you hell to the no. They get robbed, they get raped, they get killed. The only place in the world where you can come and get stuff more or less when you're Black and not have to worry is either the United States, Canada, and maybe England, maybe Australia, but you catch hell. But the place where Black people have fought the hardest to open up opportunities for everybody is America. And they're willing to come here and step on our neck and step on our heads and walk on our face to get it. These people will only understand, and my former teachers, one of my mentor's wives, she's a widow. My mentor was head of the civil service for Gambia in West Africa. And one day he stopped me and he said to me, Mr. Short, don't let these people take your country from you. They've come here to, and this man's African saying, I love Black Americans. And he's saying, these people, because I'm in the African Studies Department at Howard, these people hated Black Americans' guts and wished to kick us out of our own country. And I've had experiences being excluded from jobs by Africans at HBCUs who conspired to fire all the Black Americans. We bring them in and they kick us out because they practice tribalism. They don't deal with Blackness in Africa outside of maybe South Africa, right? Are you understanding me? This Black concept is insufficient for defining who we are until you say Black American. Okay. We have to have a sense of who we are. I was sitting in on a meeting of Ethiopians, and they said they're so glad that Black Americans didn't have a strong identity, or they wouldn't be able to get over like they do here. Cardi B would be killed in Nigeria. Idris Elba would not be able to be a star in South Africa. The only people in the world that take in anybody Black, no matter how diseased, nasty, or trifling they are in this country. And what's our reward? They hate our guts for it. It's time for us to shut the fucking candy store, shutter the shit, and get behind the damn counter with the shotgun and the street sweeper. The only way you can come in and get some sweets is if you pay for it.
Pay for it. Yeah, you got to start taxing them to the
we need to demand that everything that we fought for from 1607, because Black folks were at the beginning of Jamestown. Not just in 1619. That's a bullshit story that coons accept. We've been here 400 plus years. Those of us, everything we fought for should be earmarked specifically for us. Let the Jamaicans have their movement to get access. Let the Indians have their movement for access. Let all the other non-white people fight and get their asses shot on balconies like Dr. King to get access. We've already given at the office. We don't have any more to give. I only have tears for my own people. I only have charity for mine. I'll do trade, but not charity. Cut these users off. I don't like leeches. I don't even like seeing leeches in the movie. I don't like ticks. I don't like spiders. I don't like snakes and rats. If you aren't in America, if you're in America and you're working against Black Americans, we should dislike you. I'm going to just tell you, in South Africa, there's no love lost between South Africans and people from other countries that are there as illegal aliens. They will rob them. They will kill them. They will beat them. They will rape them. I'm against treating people like that. Let me repeat. No violence, no hatred, no discrimination against people from the diaspora. However, no preference. You can't put your hand in my damn pie for a slice unless you're for me and you help me get that damn pie.
Yeah, most definitely. How is it though? Like in South Africa, since you brought that up, and it's funny you mentioned Idris Elba. He played Mandela in that movie a few years ago, and I was wondering, like, how did when you mentioned South Africa, how was the situation uh, changed since Mandela was president in South Africa? Because
Hold
I
on, hold that thought for 1 second. I'm gonna bring something out.
All right. While Dr. Short is running, let me just say what's up to everybody. We got a GK Denebo in the chat. What's up, sister? Good to always see you. Marcus Garvey is the way to free minds. What's up? We got some people on Facebook that are even watching the channel now. Herman, what's up, man? Ron shows. Uh, you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And I'm also on Periscope right now on Twitter. I'm trying to watch it there too, see if we have anybody that likes this video and so forth. We're going in on this stuff. We've got the brother Randy Short, and we're going to move into some other topics in a minute. I'm waiting for Dr. Short to come back. You guys, please check out his Cash App, Dr. Randy Short, and PayPal, wrandyshort@gmail.com. Also, check out my Cash App, Gavin Reshort Esquire, and Google Pay, gavin.grich1@gmail.com. Oh, we look like we lost Dr. Short for some reason. I'm wondering what happened. Hold on, we're going to try and get him back. We're still here, guys. You got any questions that you want to leave Dr. Short? Let me know. All right. Trying to see if we can get the doc back. And we're going to be going into our next topic in a little bit. Actually, I'm going to put it up here, but I'm going to ask that doc this question too. Yeah, I don't know I don't know why he got kicked out of the live stream. So sorry about that. Yeah, I was searching for something. So yeah, I'm just waiting for Dr. Short. But one of the things I want to, you guys probably know how intense Dr. Short gets. I mean, this is who he is. So you know, you may not like what he says, but he's always bringing something to the table. So I'm looking here. It looks like I'm frozen on Facebook. Let me see this. Ah, man. Yeah, hello?
So sorry about that. Yeah, I was searching for something. So
Yeah, Doctor. Okay.
I've got this number here. Text it to this number and we'll pick up.
Well, the only thing is I can only send a link to the email. Can it send it to your phone through there? Do you have your email account there? You could pick it up through there.
I have an email account here too. Tell me your email and I'll send you a message right now.
My email is Gavin, Gavin, .grich1 at
Spell that?
Gavin dot gr.
Hold on, let me make it easier. I'll tell you mine. Mine is Dr. W. Randy Lancaster Short at gmail.com. I'll do it all over again. DrWRandy LANCASTERSHORT at Gmail. Send it to me there.
All right, I'm about to send it to you right now, Doc.
Okay.
I just sent it to you right now. There you go. You should get it. And just confirm if you received it.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so Dr. Short is going to be joining us in a second. Okay, there he is. All right, here we go, Doc. We back. Okay.
Man, they were cooking my phone. My phone got so hot. They must have known you were going to tell some truth up in here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I said, I hope them people didn't get you.
Hold on a second. And what I went to get, let me pull it back. Okay. You ready?
Yes, sir.
You see this book here?
Uh-huh. Black and gold.
You can get yourself a cheap copy on A Books. This explains how Mandela and all the ANC folks, all the coons sold out to black South Africans. You have to understand, Nelson Mandela's like Black Lives Matter. Nelson Mandela was a communist. He wasn't a nationalist. Nelson Mandela sold out black South Africans in 1949. Nelson Mandela, by the way, like Obama, like Andrew Gillum, and like John Lewis, Nelson Mandela did more to free homosexuals in Africa than Jesus did for Christians. South Africa is the first country to make being gay a constitutional right with all the protections, everything, just gays get everything. Mandela did nothing for the people that bled and died, but he helped the gays and the illegal aliens, just like Obama. If you see people crying over a black man or woman that died, white, trust me, they weren't doing nothing for black people. Herman Cain just died. Did you see anything for Herman Cain? Did you? Did you see any great outpouring? All right, let me just remind people that back a few months ago, Herman Cain began demanding that black voices for Trump demand reparations now for Black Americans. Then all of a sudden his ass is dead. Yes, that's all of a sudden he got COVID. When they tested him before he flew on the plane, they tested when he got off the plane, tested before he went into the Coliseum. Then all of a sudden he's the only one that died, the one screaming that we're going to give our reparations. Nelson Mandela didn't get reparations for Black South Africans. Neither did John Lewis. And nor did Obama, but they all fight for gays. Okay, I'm just going to tell you something. There's a documentary you can get, and I think the title of it, I never bought it, but I should have. It was called I Rode with Mandela. And it's a white gay man that Mandela lived with for many years. And the reason Mandela got caught was that the white gay dude couldn't bring himself to destroy anything that Nelson Mandela had. He was so in love with them.
Was this called The Man Who Rode with Mandela? Is by
if it's a white dude from like 1989 was when the film was made, or in the early 90s.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
Sure. Oh, I gotta watch that. That's the gay man that took care and Mandela lived with them.
This is what you're talking about? The man who drove Mandela with Mandela?
That's right. And I wonder how he drove Mandela.
Ugh. No. Oh, man.
Oh, yes, I'm going to tell the truth. Fight coons, fight the boule, fight the traitors. Mandela betrayed the Black people in South Africa. I don't hate Mandela. My best friend in South Africa is a granddaughter of Mandela. I've been cussing him out for years, so I'm not saying nothing I wouldn't say to their faces.
What? Yeah, I never saw the movie Cry Freedom, but that's about Stephen Biko. I was always curious. Did they ever solve his murder? I mean, we know who did it.
They know who killed him. No, let me tell you, another person that loves gay people and illegals, Bishop Tutu. They let all the white people off for killing Black folks. The only person they gave hell to was Winnie Mandela, my favorite African woman. In fact, there's a woman I like right now that looks like Winnie Mandela. I started looking and said, damn, she looked like Winnie. I mean, I almost got an erection. I mean, you could get a busted nut. That's just to love Black people so much you can give your heart on. Just think about Winnie Mandela. Amanda! I mean, she was like hardcore. Oh, I loved her. Man. And she looked good all the way up until they put her in a casket. She was fine. She was committed. A real powerful Black woman. I mean, that's a guy.
They had children.
I love her, man. That's real talk.
She had children with Mandela, right? She had kids with Mandela, right?
I don't know how many kids she had with Mandela, but I do know Mandela sold her out. And Mandela and them made a deal to make certain that Black people didn't get anything in the new South Africa. You know, half the Black children in South Africa are malnourished. Do you know the niggas still live in the Bantu stands? They don't have nothing. I've been to South Africa and watched people go through the garbage to eat. South Africa's going to blow up. It's going to be a big-ass powder keg. You'll see. You can say what you want. I'm just telling you. It's real talk.
They still have those Africans out. Well, they call them the Africans who are still out there. They're actually.
Forget about them. You know who their problem is?
Who's that?
The Indians. Kamala's people. They're the biggest beneficiaries of apartheid ending. I've been there. I've seen it.
Wow. Gandhi
Black folks are being played. We're suckers. We're chumps. We don't research. We don't think. We think our sex organs are our brains.
Good answer. Doc, I wanted to get to this next topic. This is a lawsuit that's been filed. I thought you might find this interesting. In Oklahoma, a lawsuit has been filed by a group of Oklahomans that are seeking reparations from the city of Tulsa and other local government entities for ongoing devastation caused by one of the most heinous race massacres in United States history nearly 100 years ago. The plaintiffs include relatives of those affected by the 1921 Tulsa race massacre, as well as 105-year-old survivor Leslie Benefield Randall, who suffers from emotional and physical distress that continues to this day, according to the complaint filed this week in Tulsa County District Court. The attorney, Demario Solomon Simmons, I know him actually, said the following: for a long time, the word reparations was a non-starter, but it is finally losing its taboo. The urgency of the protests across America shows that reforms won't last until we pay for the crimes of the past. As many as 300 African-American residents were slaughtered when white mobs descended on Tulsa's Greenwood district. That's where the Gap Band is from, Doc.
Right.
Right.
It's, I know Atchison and Pine, and I forget what the G is at
Greenwood.
Okay.
Pine, yeah. Yeah, and in fact, I think, and I may be wrong, but the song "You Dropped the Bomb on Me" was a reference to that.
It wasn't. Although they bombed the place from the air.
Okay. But I wanted to get your thoughts about this lawsuit. If you think this is a good thing to start and move forward?
Yeah, but they should do something different. If you go to the courts of the people that have allowed them to get away with it for 99 years, why would those courts deliver justice? What the Black people need to do is economically sack the state of Oklahoma by going after the bonds for Tulsa and Oklahoma City as well. They need to team up with the Aboriginal American movement, because we Black folks who are originally descendants of Indians as well as Black people have rights that we're not using. We need to do that. We need to make them give it, but we shouldn't beg them. We should kick their ass. You're not going to get it. You have to wonder why these other little teeny tiny piss ass groups come to America and make it. It's because they take stuff. We steal from each other. We rape and kill each other. We're really good at destroying each other over practically nothing, being jealous, being envious, being backbiters and backstabbers and front stabbers and liars and spreading AIDS. We do that to each other without a thought. Put us up against people that mistreat us, and all of a sudden we want to be everybody's friend. We want to be God. We want to be Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey, and everybody love and trust us when we're not lovable half the time. Why can't we use some of that animosity, hate, and vitriol against people that hate our guts too? Make it even. There are all kinds of things that people could do. People could call for a boycott and buying products from Oklahoma until they make this thing right. They could do that. I mean, we have to think creatively. We've made our oppression too easy for our oppressors. People should lose sleep at night. People should have strokes, diabetic shock behind their problems with Black people who are going to get their check cut. Stop, love yourself, and make your enemy feel uncomfortable. We do it to each other. Colorism, classism, hair texturism. And we can't deal with folks that have been killing us all these years, taking our stuff, bombing us, raping us, gentrifying us, and we love them. We're sick.
Yeah, it's interesting where this lawsuit goes. I'm looking at this. They're using a statute that was enacted in Oklahoma in 2019, I believe, in a public nuisance statute that was acted in 2019, and that was used against Johnson & Johnson in 2019 for its role in the opioid crisis. So, I don't know more how that's going to play in. I do know the show that was canceled on HBO, Watchmen, actually made reference to the Tulsa, Oklahoma race riot. And of course, Donald Trump was hosting a campaign rally that was set to be in Tulsa on the day of June 19th. And people protested that because they thought it was some people thought it was an insult that he would do that at that time for that riot, commemorating the anniversary of that. But
we had these massacres and expulsions all over the country.
Right.
Okay. Black folks should be using international bodies. They should be boycotting, hurt people. The problem with us is we just want to party and fit in. Like we're in a concentration camp. Come on, Hitler, just let us party, man. We don't care about anti-Semitism. We just want to live. It's not that simple. And we got a lot of dirty scum leaders, a lot of them little fake ass preachers that think they get 10% of your money to tell you to keep getting screwed by folk that hate them. As long as they get their 10%, what do they give a damn what happens to you? Because it adds up.
Yeah. So this lady, the one lady, her name is Leslie Bedingfield Randall. Her name is Mother Randall. She's the, I guess, the 105-year-old victim in this case. One of the plaintiffs. Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna just say to you, I'm amazed about how long it's taken people to even catch on to Tulsa. Do you know when I learned about the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombing?
No, what's that?
In 1975, there was a little story in Parade magazine. And I went up to Howard University Library to start reading what I could find out about it. When I was 10 years old, I'm 55. I wonder, where the hell are Black people? If I went as a 10-year-old, what?
Dr. Short?
You get what I'm saying? We wait.
Hey, you froze us. Jock, you froze. I didn't hear what you were saying. Could you repeat it, please?
My question was, if I was interested in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the age of 10, what were the people in Tulsa doing 45 years ago?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, 45 years ago was about what? That would have been 70 something. It would have been about 60 years after it happened. You mean what? They're still spooked? There are Black people all over the country. There were massacres and killings and lynchings, and people just, what they say down south, I'm going to just talk about, I'm a Southerner, but I'm in deep South, like weak ass people down south. Don't get in that mess. Don't get in that mess. Don't get in that mess. In other words, don't stand up for what's right. Don't stand up for what's right. Don't confront people. We'll lose if we ever show we have dignity. Shit, I'd rather die. A weak ass people, a punk ass people will always get what we get. And I'm not a tough man. I'm nobody's fighter. I wish I had a house full of guns and a tank and a Humvee and some drones. I don't. If we put our heads together, those of us that are willing to stand up, we could change a lot of the stuff. In reality, I'll tell you something. Negroes just want to go along and get along. They don't want to fight. They don't want to upset people. They don't, just risk nothing. If you risk nothing, you venture nothing. It's interesting. People can risk their lives selling dope to kill everybody in their community, but they won't do anything economic. Our people are very, very poorly led, and we're shallow. And I don't know what bad's going to happen to us, maybe on a Jewish Holocaust level, and maybe the survivors of that will say this ain't going to never happen again. I don't know what it's going to take. And I'm ready to get off here because I called about 8 niggas that called me. But let's do this again. I'm sorry, my brother. I was very sick. There was mildew and mold. I don't know if you heard, we had flooding here in my neighborhood, all over DC. I mean, people literally, I'm lucky. 1 block from me, they had bowel movement shooting up through the toilets, flooding the whole basement. I'm in the basement right now. I had some flooding, but it got in the floor. So I was sick and weak for like 2 weeks because it kept flooding because it's been raining consistently for weeks. There's going to be a big flood here. Maybe they'll wash away all the coons and
we have a hurricane coming.
Yeah, well, it's going to flood here.
Yeah,
bet your ass. There's Washington D.C. is below sea level, like New Orleans is. In fact, a lot of people that are going to be hurt are going to be the little fake ass Black people out in Prince George's County, the ones with the big, ugly, ticky-tacky houses that because they have a 2-car garage and a big yard, that they don't have to stand up for Black people. Oh, Judgment Day is coming to coons and the boule. I can't wait. In fact, I'll tell you something. If the sellouts and the coons and the boule hurt as much as the broke Negroes in the projects, I'd be happy. It's been hell watching a small percentage of Negroes get everything that we've all suffered for, and them stabbing us in the back, laughing at us, saying, be happy for me. I had a lobster, trust me. The lobster in your belly won't be shit out my ass. I got to have a lobster too. You got another question?
I did. It was just it was another topic. It would be brief. I just wanted to know, what did you think about the Cuties controversy that's on Netflix about that movie?
It's a stupid ass French speaking African woman who's probably a lesbian or some kind of slut that are whoring out black women. It's time for black women to stop being dumb as fuck. It's time for black women to start kicking women in the ass that sell out black men, black women, and black babies. These pork chop feminist whores, whether in Africa or this little nasty bitch, Mrs. Mofokeng in South Africa, pushing to make sex work okay for black women and children all over the world. Black women need to start kicking black women that are traitors in the ass. Black women are derelict in their duty of making people be committed to their race. And black men are sorry, but they're not as sorry as black women. Feminism is a curse. It's a venereal disease in the soul of black people. We need to have feminism purged from the lives of black people. The fastest we can do it is the best way it should be done. Pedophilia is evil, it's wicked, it's immoral, it's degenerate. I don't care who does it. I've had family members of the pedophiles. I hate their asses too. I don't like it. It's nasty. It'll never be right. I hope Netflix goes broke. Then I won't have to pay my subscription. I've never watched it. I feel really bad. But it's time for black women and for black folks of the LGBTQ. Judgment Day's coming on your asses if y'all keep betraying us, pushing these nasty, filthy agendas. Folks are going to stop being tolerant. And I don't want folk to be mean to anybody, but stop pushing your trash on the rest of us. If you've been sexually traumatized, get some damn counseling. Stop promoting something that violated you as natural and good and wholesome. It's a damn lie. That tramp, she should be reviled. That film should be destroyed. Anyone that tries to do anything like this should be punished in our community. And the only other thing I'm going to say to you, and I'll just keep putting it out there, for all the people that have not paid attention to how their brother, Chadwick Boseman, died. That colorectal or anal rectal cancer is 100 times more common in gay men than in heterosexual men. If you know anything about stats, the sample only goes up to 100. In other words, it's a gay disease primarily.
Thank you, Dr. Short. Are you about to say something else?
Yeah, I'm just going to say for folks, we need to stick together, love each other, and there's some basic solutions, man. We need to have our own political parties and institutions. All y'all folks that have access to some land, grow something on it. Food's going to run out. Food's going to run out. Buy seeds while the prices are dropping. They've overproduced seeds. You'll even see seeds on sale on Amazon. They were kicking my ass a few months ago when I was buying seeds. I mean, weed was cheaper than vegetable seeds. And a lot of y'all can't eat weed. Okay, I know I can't. Get seeds, y'all. Y'all need to start preparing. It's going to be wild. And the last thing I'm going to say, if you're worried about corona, hydroxychloroquine works. You can get hydroxychloroquine by going to www.frontlinemds.com. It'll cost you about $90 to $100, but you can save your life. When you get a prescription, go to an independent pharmacy. I need to go and pick up my mother's prescription. It's sitting up. I need to make certain that she doesn't get COVID. Black folks are foolish. They hate Trump so much they don't recognize that Donald Trump initially fought to try to help black people by promoting hydroxychloroquine, and the white folk didn't like it. By the way, white folks are using hydroxychloroquine and they're surviving. Niggas are stuck on stupid, hating Trump and dying. Wake up. You're not going to hear this from Dong Lemon or Al Sharpton or that heifer with the ugly wigs, Joy Reid. Wake up. Thank you, brother, for having me on. Thank you for the sister that sent me some bucks. One of the things, we need to get back together and have a discussion on feminism. I want to let people know to do research and to get stuff. It costs money. Coon Busters. I'll be coming out with Coon Busters, and I want you to come on Coon Busters. Look for me. I'll be chatting with y'all. I absolutely want folks to help send me some books because I'm trying to get a bunch of books on Luciferianism and feminism. There's a link between how fucked up women are today and Lucifer. And there's a whole line of study about Luciferianism and feminism. They're messing up women, got them all confused, got them supporting trans and pedophilia and hating men and killing babies. That's not a woman, that's a monster. We need to get womanhood back, and women need to be loved, protected, and cherished. Don't get me wrong, but we need to kick our traitor women in the ass, kick our traitor men in the ass, free the land, free our people. So God bless you. As much as I'm screaming, I want to remind people, Dr. King says, you can't have great criticism where there isn't great love. So if you hear people yelling and screaming and complaining, it's because they're traumatized watching their race die off. I'm sick of watching us die in slow motion. Wake up, be in touch with me. My PayPal is also my email address. If you've got serious inquiries and you're not a predator user, liar, manipulator, drop me an email. Deuces, I'm out.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Short. And thank you all for joining and tuning in on Gavin Richard Presents here on YouTube, on Facebook. My channel.
Don't vote for Joe Biden or Kamala. Kamala. Say the name right. Say it with me. Kamala.
You had said Kamala.
Come.
All right.
Come. Kamala. Like her
guys.
mother. It sounds nasty because she's nasty. Her mother, she's nasty. She even walks like a pole vaulter sex toy hanging out of her. Have you ever seen the way she walks? It's really nasty. It's nasty. I mean, can you imagine someone walking like they got a strap on as your president? What is she going to do in the Oval Office with that? My God, you know, she walked like she been, oh my God, let me get off here. I'm sorry. Yeah. Kamala. She's
Good
nasty.
night, guys.
Good night.